Oh my god, it's so good.
This is your life.
Yeah, I guess you weren't expecting that, but I got a selfie stick. Crazy, right? Yeah, so I'm also starting this new thing where I put a bunch of questions in this little jar, and it has different runes in it, which runes are basically sigils slash symbols that have significance slash meanings. These ones specifically are Futhark, Fu. There's either an R or there's not an R. Thark, I want to say. They are German origin, or they have German origins, and yeah. But so each one has like a different focus. I believe I have 6 different ones in this jar. There's, I'm not going to give you all of them at the top of my head because I don't know them and I don't want to talk out of my ass. So, I'm going to not look while I grab this and see what the question of the day is. And the question, this rune is Perthos. I forget which one that is about. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say Journey, but also don't quote me. That's why I didn't want to tell you, because I don't know at the top of my head and I don't want to give you the wrong information like an idiot. So, yeah. So, question of the day. You ready for this? What if the strangest parts of my life are actually the most real? What the fuck? All right. So, I'm gonna ask again. What if the strangest parts of my life are actually the most real? Think about it. Think about it. All right. So, let's see. What if the strangest things in my life were the most real? So the strangest things I would say in my life, I would say right now, is the fact that I have this toxic belief that nothing is actually real and that all of this is fake. But then I get in my head about it because obviously look around. So that's interesting because as I feel like I'm losing my mind and that none of this is real, it feels right, but it feels like I'm crazy at the same time. And so it's an interesting place to be at because I constantly feel crazy, but at the same time it feels so right that I don't care if I really come off as crazy, if that makes sense. So yeah, quick response, I would say that is what it is, but I'm gonna let this marinate and I'm gonna see what I can do with this because it's May 1st today and I would like to start the new month off with I don't know motherfucking no. So cheers to this video and however it ends up turning out, and yeah. So what if the strangest parts of your life were actually the most true? Something to think about. That is something to definitely think about. So I love you very much. We'll chat later. All right, so I wanted to give you more information on Pertho because I didn't know what it was. Or not that I didn't know what it was, yeah. But so Pertho, okay. So according to the chat LGBT, it is Pertho is like a cosmic dice roll. The strange coincidences, deja vu moments, dreams that felt too real, and those times you knew something beyond logic was at play. It asks us to look at the randomness in life not as accidents, but as clues. Sometimes the weirdest moments are the ones trying to tell us something real, something hidden. This rune is all about surrendering to the unknown and asking what's trying to reveal itself through the chaos. Juicy. And what if the strangest parts of our life are actually the most real? What the fuck? Yeah, so I this is my first day of doing this, so bear with me. We're kind of just like trial and erroring this shit, but I'm having a good time doing this so far. I think it's fun. But so I created this. I'll attach it down here too, but it's some type of file that is a journal. I did the word of the day, which is the what is the strangest parts of my life that are actually the most. What are the strangest parts of my life are the most real? And with that, I created this kind of, I don't want to say worksheet, but essentially it's just the questions are on the side and then it gives you a little area to write it on. But I have a file to where if you wanted to, I journal a lot. And so I like creating little journal prompts to kind of get your brain going. And if you're not really sure with what that, like if you don't journal a lot or if you've been wanting to journal, but you haven't really known how to, I feel like these questions are very thought-provoking and can lead you down interesting paths of self-discovery, depending on what questions you're seeking, you know? So, so I hope that's helpful. But I don't know if I am going to write this as of right now because it's just not something that I mean, this is just still so early. I mean, this is the first time I'm doing it, so we'll see how it goes. But eventually, like if I do this full time, I can do that every day. But right now, that's just yeah. So I got. Let me show you what Pertho is first before we start doing all this shenanigans. Bear with me if I'm a little over the place. So it's going to be like a straight line, kind of. And then it's going to go in like that. And then it's going to go like that. And then it's going to go like that. And then it's going to go like that. What the fuck? Let the camera focus. Yeah, so that's Pertho. And so with the prompts of the question, from the question that is the question of the day, the first prompt question is, what is one memory that still doesn't make sense logically, but changed how I view reality? Let's see. I would say... I'm just going to be vulnerable with you and just... I've been wanting to avoid being vulnerable, but if I'm going to create something true, then I need to be just fucking true and authentic. So, okay. What is one memory that still doesn't make sense logically, but changed how I view reality? This is going to open up a whole can of worms. So... we have a lot to talk about and we have the whole rest of my life to talk about it, but just for the sake of this story. So a couple years ago, I went to Bonnaroo for the first time and did the usual shenanigans, was under the influence, yada yada. And I ended up FaceTiming my sister and no, I don't really want to talk. I don't want to talk. It just sounds crazy. That's why I don't like talking about it. But I guess that's the whole point of this. I don't like being vulnerable. I guess. Well, this is just silly. Okay, whatever. So, what's up on or whatever? Growing up, I grew up in a Christian household, and in Christianity, there's God, Jesus, and then Satan, Lucifer, whatever. And I also, in Christianity, homosexuality isn't that great. So I like dudes, and growing up, that wasn't great in a Christian household. So there was weird shit that went on. There's a lot more to it than that, but whatever. I just always thought that I was bad. Just because I mean, like, grew up in a Christian household, or let me back up a little bit. So also, when I was growing up, I used to see a lot of weird and crazy shit. Like ghosts, monsters, imaginary friends, whatever you want to call it, just weird shit. And growing up, I've been in therapy. I was in therapy up until like 18 years old. But for my early childhood, I never really understood why. My parents just told me that I was bipolar and that I had to go for my mood swings, and so I'd go weekly for checkups. But I don't recall ever having like crazy mood swings. But come to find out, 2021, I was diagnosed as schizophrenic, and I was on schizophrenic medication from a young age, supposedly. Anytime I ask my parents about it, they don't know because it's been so long, but yeah, so growing up, thought I was bipolar, and so I saw weird shit and was also like dudes, and so growing up in a Christian household, I just thought that I was bad. And because of that, I've just seen a lot of crazy and weird, scary things, and I've just had a lot of weird experiences, and so yeah, I just always thought that I was meant for something bad, because like I am here and I want to do good, and that's all I want to do. But this God that created me made me a sinner. Also made me gay, which was a no-no. And also just created me to see all of these crazy things and just have these crazy ass experiences. And so for a while, like, it sounds crazy, but like I thought I was fucking Antichrist. Because I don't understand why God would create me to be I don't know why God would create me with the heart that I have to just want to do good, but to make me evil. I just wanted to do good, but I was told I was evil, or just these experiences that I had were just told me that I was evil. And so growing up, I always just thought that I was bad. So Bonnaroo, a couple years ago, I was under the influence and FaceTime my sister, and was chatting with her. Then I had her call my parents. And I was talking to my parents and whatnot, and it turns out that I kept going in and out of just states of, let's just say states of awareness or states of consciousness, but I kept saying that I was in a battle. And I would keep going like in and out. And I just felt like I was in a battle of like, for the spotlight of like my body, of like, I don't know how to also, like there's been times where like, I feel other, like this is just a vehicle, you know? And like my consciousness is just code, essentially. And so someone can hack it. It's been hacked before, and like I don't know how to explain it, but like I guess that's the best I can kind of explain it. But I don't know where I was going with that, but Bonnaroo, yeah. So I called my parents, and I ended up confessing to them that I feel like I might be the Antichrist. Which, saying out loud and telling you, it's funny. But like growing up and just after everything that I've experienced and just believing that I've been so crazy for so long, it and then but so as I was telling my parents this, it's been something that has been weighing on my heart for such a long time, and we can have later conversations about this later on because there's a whole lot to it. But just for the sake of this conversation and the question of the day, as I told my parents that, just something that I've been holding on to for so long, and just this big fear, I just physically saw in front of me, like I couldn't tell that it wasn't real. But so I like tell my parents this shit, and all of a sudden these black particles just start flowing off of the crowd in front of me. And if you've ever seen Stranger Things, like the dark fucking energy thing, cloud thing, it kind of looked like that concept wise, but so there was a whole crowd of people in front of me, and there's this whole crowd of people in front of me, and then these black particles start flying above everyone, and just forms this big ass fucking dark cloud. But it wasn't just a cloud. It was alive. Like I don't know. It was crazy. It's crazy. But it was the biggest thing I've ever fucking seen. It was big. It was a bit as big as the fucking crowd in front of me. And there's over 100 people in front of me. And it just formed, and I felt it staring down at me, and I just felt this huge pressure and just weird, just heavy emotions. And I just started feeling these downloads come into my head, and it just told me that it mentioned the name Kronos, and then it also mentioned that my purpose on this time my purpose on Earth at this time, or that this given moment, is to destroy time, whatever the fuck that means. And so at the time, like, it was just all just not nonsense, you know? And I just was on drugs and tripping and all that shit. And so, yeah, at the time I just thought it was crazy. So then a couple years later, I started doing research and started diving into conspiracies, started diving into philosophies. Turns out Kronos is another name for Satan. And there's a whole bunch of, I mean, I'll do another video on the topic, but there's so many different name changes between it all that I've been trying to figure out where, because there's so many different stories, and the truth is in the middle of everything, but there's a little bit of truth in everything. And so I've been trying to figure out where that thin line is. And it's every time I think I'm closer, I'm not close at all. Which makes me think of what even is the truth, you know? So, but then this past year too, I've seen conspiracies about how our calendar that we're on right now, the Gregorian calendar, isn't like, it doesn't go hand in hand with actual nature. Like there's 13 cycles of the moon, and which I guess makes more sense for the world and for us to, as electric beings, just because we're in tune with, not to get astrological, but I mean, there's a science behind it. And so, I mean, like the sun and the fucking moon exist. And so there's a science behind that shit. And so, we're in sync with the moon. And so the fact that we're not on this 13 cycle sets us out of sync with time. So this calendar that we're on right now, we're not even in sync with. And there's people that aren't even using this calendar that we're on right now because time's not real. And so going back to the question of the day, what if the strangest parts of my life are actually the most real? What if I was the or what if I am the Antichrist? But not in the sense that we think, or I think. Because I would like to redefine that in the sense of I'm anti whatever the fuck all of this shit is. Like, I think all this is Antichrist, low-key. And I'm anti this. But I can't say that they're Antichrist. So I'll just say that I am. For shits and gigs. Because everything's backwards anyways. So let's just fucking say that I am. And for the people that... Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. People that get it. So, yeah. I feel like part of my purpose is to just question everything. Time isn't real. This calendar that we're on isn't real. And the people that created this were Jesuits. And I'm not going to talk about who they are and what they are, but if you want to know how the world works and who's in control behind the scenes and is controlling the strings, do a little research. Get back to me. Jesuits. Smiley face. But, yeah. That is what if the strangest parts of my life were actually the most real? So going back to that, what if that trip was real? Or what if, like, it didn't make sense logically, but like here I am now and uncovering all of this shit a couple of years later, like it's just weird, you know? So then, let's see, have I ever felt like life was nudging me with signs or synchronicities? Yeah, all the time. I mean, that was just a synchronicity. Like, that trip was random, and then to come to find out in my studies, just in philosophy and just all of that, like, it ties in with it and with the conspiracies. And so I just feel like I'm in tune with something, and I don't know. Maybe it's the skits. Let's see. What happened? Did I follow them? What came from it? Yeah, I mean, I've been doing my research, and like so far, like it sounds crazy, but I'm crazy, so whatever. What came from it? My life right now, I've just kind of been in a weird place because I don't know how to really exist because I know that everything's fake as fuck. And like, I don't want to contribute to this illusion anymore. And so I've just sort of been in a weird place trying to figure it out. So we'll see what comes from it. I had a phone call with one of my best friends the other day, and I made a song out of it, and I'm gonna put the song at the end of this video. But it kind of ties in with that, and that'll be my art piece for this question of the day too. But yeah. What have I experienced that most people wouldn't believe, but I know is true for me? I would say that experience that I just talked about. Because regardless, I mean, I know it sounds fucking crazy, but it's led me down a path that has brought a lot of truth. And so, although it's crazy, I do have to question if it's true or not, because I don't know. When have I ignored something strange and regretted it later? Low-key, I don't really ignore strange things. Like, if I feel something, I'm like, I'm out. I'm very intuitive. Yeah. What would I do differently now? I don't really regret, so nothing. So, if I saw my life as a symbolic dream, what would some of the weirdest moments mean metaphorically? Well, just going back to that fucking vision, like, I feel like diving into my studies and now doing these videos, it's kind of been, I don't know, I just feel like I'm just uncovering myself, but also self, like backwards 5 self. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this video. This is my first time doing this, so if you like it, please let me know. And also, like, what if leave a comment too and tell me your story too. Like, what if the strangest parts of your life are actually the most real? What would that look like? What would that be? So yeah, I'm gonna post this song that I made with this to go hand in hand with it. And yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and I hope that it was helpful, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow or again in this near future. I'm not gonna put any pressure on it. I'm not gonna speak in the future because who knows what's gonna happen. Peace out.
I like these trees.
Me too. They're beautiful.
I mean, it's heavy. It's fucking heavy.
It's something I've even talked about in therapy. Like, when I wake up, like, what am I thinking? And I'm like, if you want me to be completely fucking honest, I wake up and wonder, how the fuck am I able to exist in this world today? Like, how do I wake up and exist in this world? Then it makes no sense to me. I don't, like,
Yeah, it's
I'm
tough.
not with this shit. Sorry, I don't fuck with this shit. Like, I think it's stupid, and like, I don't want to participate.
I literally feel like I'm a foreigner.
No, yeah, literally. Like, no, like, I'm like, no. Like, I just wake up and I'm like, how the fuck am I expected to want to participate in society like this? Like, of course I'm gonna wake up every day in a bad fucking mood. Look around. Like, what the fuck do I gotta be joyful for? I don't know how to exist in this world. It's not because I don't want to live.
One thing that's helped me through that is the fact that that's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's like that. I mean, everything that you're feeling is completely normal for what we know and just given the circumstances.
Yeah.
And so, knowing that, it's just a matter of, okay, we know that information and we live in a world where that isn't common knowledge, and also, like, if brought up, people, I mean, it's basically like a fucking, like, virus.